Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Piazza. I'm your host on Dirt to Dollars. On this podcast, we're going to be going over the top latest trends in the industry. We're going to have sales guys from different supply houses on here talking about sales, marketing. We're going to talk about the industry in itself. We're going to talk about pools and pool supplies and everything under the sun. All right, we're on the air with Howard Eskin, the legend of Philadelphia.
You know what? I don't. Troy Aikman said that to me once when he introduced me to Terry Bradshaw. I says, "Hey, man, I'm just like everybody else. I'm just trying to have fun,
Just having fun,
doing what
man.
I do." If people say that, but I'm just a kid that grew up in the Northeast,
Yeah.
Northeast Philadelphia. That's all.
I grew up listening to you, and I couldn't be happier to have you on this podcast, where we talk a little bit about the hardscape industry, vendors, clients.
Yeah.
So you're a client of ours, and hope we've satisfied you throughout the years of the work that we did for you. Again, couldn't be more excited to have you on this podcast. Some of the questions I'm going to ask you are related to sports and business in a
Okay.
sense, right?
Whatever.
Everybody, wants to hear from the legend, right? One of the first questions I'd like to ask you is, how did you first get into sports reporting, and what was it like to grind on a daily basis?
Well, when I was a kid, I loved sports. And to play sports in school, you had to attend.
Yeah,
You couldn't be absent.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what kept the kids going to. That's what kept guys going to school.
Yeah,
They didn't just cut class and do all that. So I always wanted to be in sports. My father was huge in sports. Had tickets to a few of the teams, season tickets, and my father was a big sports fan. So
in the Philadelphia area.
yeah, in
Okay.
Philadelphia area.
Okay.
And I know when he was sick, he made a point when I went down to visit him. He wanted to live near the Phillies spring training because he loved baseball. So he made a point, and he made him feel good that his interest in sports helped me get my interest in sports. Now you take that to the next level. And afterwards, I never graduated college. I wasn't big on school, but I decided that I wanted to do whatever I could to move forward and make my parents happy.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finally got into, I always worked hard.
Were they upset you didn't graduate college?
No,
No.
not at all.
Yeah.
And back then it was affordable.
Yeah.
Now it's not affordable.
correct.
It's sad. But they, I just wanted to, I wanted to please them. But when I got my first job in radio, it wasn't in sports. I was just what I don't know how many people remember records, 45s, 33s,
Before my time, but I know what a record is.
Yeah, right. They're collectibles now. If you have a
absolutely.
45,
People
it's a
buy 'em all the
collectible.
time.
But spinning records for people, I was in production for radio stations. I did whatever I had to do, knowing that once you're in, you never know what could happen. But I was just happy to be in radio.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't on the air at first. Then I was on the air. I've been a disc jockey. I've been a newsman on radio. And then sports opportunity came along. And I did it on my own time. When I was spinning records, I used to go down and get the interviews at the ballpark. And then in 70, I guess it was 76-ish, 78-ish. I guess it was 76-ish. There was a guy named Joe Banner. Remember Joe Banner? He was with the Eagles.
That name rings a bell.
Okay, and then he became
yeah.
president of the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Joe's retired now, but he was a sports reporter. When Jeffrey Lurie bought the team, he was friends with Jeffrey. He came with the Eagles in the 90s. And I replaced Joe. I worked together with him for 3 weeks as a sports reporter at WCAU Radio, which is now PHT, because it was a sports station. And I didn't care. I was just happy doing whatever I could do. So one thing led to another. Then people saw me, and then it led to a talk show on an FM station. And then the success on the FM station, WWDB, which doesn't exist in Philadelphia anymore, it was 96.5 FM, became successful. And I did sports talk at night. The general manager at Channel 3 liked the fact that I had an opinion. He knew, people know what I was doing. I always worked hard. And he offered me a job in television, and I never worked television in my life in 1982. So this goes back a ways, but one step at a time, and it led to another. And to answer your question, I always wanted to get in sports, but I was happy to just get in the door working radio.
Yeah.
I worked in Washington, D.C. and Virginia for a little while, doing whatever I could do.
Yeah, anything, just grinding.
Yeah, right.
Just grinding.
Yeah, that's all.
Were you nervous being on like TV at first? Were you excited? Like how you tell your friends and family? Like, because that's a big step,
I'll tell you it's a great story to me, and people have asked me to write a book, and someday I might sit down with a writer and do that. My first day in television, September 20th, 1982, I will never forget it. I was nervous getting ready to do it. Then all of a sudden, the NFL players called a strike.
Really?
And I was the lead story of the news at Channel 3.
That's nuts.
Because they called a strike. Took all the fear, the nervousness out, because now I had to work. I'll never forget seeing the clock on the wall. There was no 5 o'clock news or 4 o'clock or whatever. It was just 6 o'clock. It was 5:09 when they called the strike. There were reporters there that kind of followed me on my first day in television. Yeah. And I had to make calls, had to get the job done, and I was the lead story of my first night in television.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, going into it or, you're probably always going to be a little nervous jumping on camera here and there, right?
I'm nervous until I open my mouth.
Till you open your mouth, and then, if you really know what you're talking about, which you do, you've been around sports forever, I guess it just kind of comes second nature to you.
Yeah, you're always nervous because you want to do the best job you can. And I always kind of stepped out a little bit and tried to do a little more. The guys on the air now are just like, why even watch them? Why even listen to them? It's the same stuff. They don't have any opinions. They run a couple of highlights. They run a couple of sound bites, which nowadays, nobody says anything unless there's somebody there to interview them to kind of tweak them a little bit to say something. So now I just, it's television isn't television anymore.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part. But I would always say something. So I was a little nervous going in sometimes until I opened my mouth, knowing once I started, I'm just talking to people.
Yeah, you're just flowing at that point.
All these other guys, they worry about, the teleprompter. Oh, what happens? And the teleprompter back in the day would go down. Not all the time. Go down, you have copy in front of you, but I always wrote everything that I said.
Yeah.
And because I wrote it, I knew what I was talking about. I didn't have a producer write it for me, which a lot of these guys have producers write it for me. So it was all good. It was natural. It was just me being myself.
That's good. I mean, a lot of people paid attention to you. I mean, you made your
I tried.
Yeah, exactly. You're legendary on the radio talk show, right? And sportscasting. So again, thanks for being on the show. As far as business goes, in business, it's kind of like having, in a sense, like a sports team, right? So how would you compare business to having like a sports team? And I know it's two separate things, but give me, I guess, an idea on your theory about comparing business to a sports team.
Well, nowadays sports is business.
Correct. Yeah,
so
it is a business.
It is a business with all these free agents signing and everybody going. It's all about business.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that maybe 50% of players play for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Because, they're going to get paid if they play hard and play well. But that's business. Now, because I'm doing podcasts, I have my own business.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's just, you just treat it like you're just dealing with people. So, you try to make sure everything's okay. But I wouldn't necessarily compare it to a sports team because they're dealing in the millions of dollars. In the hundreds of millions, I'm only dealing in the millions.
Yeah.
Dealing in the millions. I'm just being.
One day, you'll get there.
Yeah, it's all good. It's as long as you're having fun.
Yeah, you're having fun.
If you're not having fun, you're not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
So it's different. And unfortunately, I've noticed a difference in covering players over the years. Years ago, players were just, you try to, you're just BSing with them, having a good time. And sometimes it's tough when you ask them the questions. But nowadays, it's all about social media, and they're worried about social media. They're worried about business. They're worried about all these things. And I can't treat it like that. So I look at the sports teams and how much they're paying. I mean, the numbers, what they're paying these guys is
it's
just
crazy.
outrageous.
It's nuts. And I find it hard to like just get down to the nitty and gritty and do your damn job. As a sports player, it's like I'm worried about PR. I'm worried about Facebook. I'm worried about what people are saying about me behind, about me having a bad day and playing bad, right? But to that extent, it's just like, let's just do your job, right? Get to work.
Well, they care
Figure
about
it out later. They care about the money, right?
Okay, they care about the money. Care about social media now. There used to be a rule in the NFL. Now they can't stop people because they'd have to fine half the guys. That you couldn't be on social media for I think it was 60 to 90 minutes after a game.
Really?
These guys can't wait to get in on their phone.
Yeah.
They can't wait. They could lose a big game and they're already.
And they got enough money. They can pay the fine, right? Or something like that.
There's no fines. They can't fine them. I mean, it's just the whole thing has become a joke.
Yeah.
And that's all they care about. I shouldn't say all. A lot of what they care about is social media.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, they want to be successful. If they don't get their numbers to get the next contract. And think about this. When a guy gets $20 million a year and he gets, let's say he's guaranteed $80 million. If you can't live the rest of your life on $80 million, the rest of the next 2 lifetimes on it, you got problems.
Just in interest alone, on $80 million, you can be set for your life.
Yes.
Correct.
So I can't, I wouldn't compare what I do to what they do because it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world. It's just, it's not reality. Basically, it's not reality.
Yeah. It almost makes like watching the games a little painful, like knowing how much money they're making and then all the complaining that they're doing or they're not doing. You just hear it on, talk shows or whatever it may be, or the newspaper.
Talk shows aren't always accurate either.
Yeah,
they just throw out the same BS all the time anyway. But when a player gets X amount of millions and he's not happy because a fan complains, well, that you got to understand that's part of the deal. That's part of the deal. When you're making that kind of money, fans, I don't know if they have the right, but they're going to do it.
Yeah.
And they're going to get crazy, and they they go after people because of all the money that they're making. Right or wrong, I'd say, listen, the players have created this by haggling over contracts. Now, hey, $32 million is not enough. Really? It's not enough? Oh, okay. It's a joke.
It is kind of a joke. It is kind of a joke. That's like me, like all my good masonry experts that work for me, right? It's like what's $1 an hour really going to do for me? Are you going to work that much harder for me?
Right.
Like I'd love to pay them, and I think they're all pretty much top paid in the industry.
Right. Which is a good thing.
Which is great because I care about my employees. I really do. But
fair. All you have to do is
very
be fair,
right?
Yeah.
But if you're not going to get the job done quicker, how do I justify paying you an extra $1 or $2 an hour? It's just like throwing money down, out 95 on the way to a game. It's just like how are you going to help this company grow? And that's what I look at. Like, are you a team player? Are you gonna come into an extra $1 an hour? Are you really gonna bend over backwards for me that much more?
No,
you're probably not, right? You know, like unless I give you like tons more, tasks for the day, which you can only handle so much.
Not everybody. If you give them, I don't know what a lot is. You give them a significant amount more, and then 6 months later they say, "Well, this guy down the road."
Oh yeah, yeah. They're not loyal,
Well,
it's tough.
When you find loyal people, that's the best thing.
It is. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to have those loyal guys that work for me. But it's just the newer guys that are coming in. It's finding those key guys. They're not out there anymore.
When I talk to a graduating class, I got a doctorate from Goldie Beacom College in Wilmington.
Okay.
And I was the commencement speaker. The one thing that I always try to impress upon kids, if you start at an early age, work hard, be responsible. And I was talking to somebody in the business, It was a general manager. I won't say of what television station. Talking to a general manager, and I said, these kids today just all they have to do is understand that, and once they understand that part of it, I says they're ahead of 50% of the people in the workplace. He says no, they're ahead of 90% of the people in the workplace. It will all work out for you. Back at one of my first stations, and again, it was a while ago. I've worked in the business for a long time. I was making $1.60 an hour at a radio station. It was my second radio station.
Wow.
It was in Atlantic City, and I got a $50 gift certificate to a delicatessen each week, and I was happy to get that.
There you go.
But I was just happy back then. That was the minimum wage, and now there's still some radio stations paying minimum wage to people that are working there now, which is sad. That's wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong.
That's wrong. But as long as you work hard and you keep on moving up the ladder, and you might go, you might start this way and then go this way. As long as you're not going backwards. That's what it's all about.
That's what matters.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And if you are honest with people, work with people, I think in the end it all works out.
It all works out. Let's just say we were designing your backyard over again, right? And you had the unlimited amount of funds to put in your backyard. And your backyard's beautiful, don't get me wrong. But let's just say we were designing your backyard. What do you think would be a must to have in an area that you're going to use throughout the summer? Like what do you think would be a must?
A statue.
A statue. Statue of you, right? Yeah, so you can look at it.
No, it's just, what is a must? Recreational area, especially when my kids are grown up, but to have a place for them to, when they got everything done, and then the summertime they had, I don't know, I know pools, not everybody can get a pool, so they get smaller, not in-ground pools but other pools, but just to have recreational things like swings and I don't even know what to call it. Had like a log cabin house that they could
like a
play.
gazebo or like a pergola or something like that.
And so little things that keep them active, so they don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I mean, during COVID, a lot of people were spending time in their backyard. So we built a ton of these pergolas and outdoor pavilions, right? So that, you have somewhere where you're out of the sun, it's next to your pool, but you can also watch TV and sports, and people would invite all their friends over, which they weren't supposed to. But
and now with internet, you can do a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
by your pool.
You can stream the Phillies, and so it's I'd say for me it'd be like somewhere where there was like a Chase Lounge or somewhere where you could put on the game and be outside instead of being cooped up in your house.
You want to have places where you can relax and the kids can have fun. Now, whatever that is, and I don't know all the ideas that you give people when you go out and you say, and I know you can virtually show people what you can do.
Oh yeah, 3D renderings. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So you can virtually show them, and you show them and say, oh, that looks cool. Oh, that looks cool. And that would be good for the kids. So there's so many ideas that most people don't even know about.
Yeah.
So that you
that's where the design comes into play, and then having like a design studio like this where we could be like, hey, this would look amazing in your backyard, but we'll show it to you in 3D.
Right.
So we bring the clients in, sit them down, and go over their 3D design.
Yeah.
We're it's unfortunate that we're not able to charge for it so much anymore, but we're offering these free designs to these clients just so we can have the the engagement with them to design their backyard.
I'm sure there's ideas that they have never even thought about that you can say, oh yeah, well, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
And we could do that. Yeah, I could do that. And then you just talk to them about that.
Yeah.
There's now in the world that we live in, there's so many different things that ideas come up that, 3 years ago we never thought about.
Yeah.
Forget about 10 years ago.
When you said statue at first, it made me, remember of one of my good clients. I'm not going to mention his name, over in Villanova, gave me one of the Philly Fanatic statues, the XOXO statues. There was 4 of them made. They were all raffled off, I think probably 8 or 10 years ago. I still have it in my backyard to this day. And it was, I had a guy come out and restore the whole thing. It still looks amazing to this day. But, my kids and I went to the Phillies game 2 years ago or whatever, and we saw that same statue inside the Citizens Bank Park.
Right.
Pretty cool and unique. And he just gave it to me. He's like, "Hey, look, I'm sick of moving this thing around all the time. You'll have to come check it out." But it's pretty wild.
You know, it's amazing when you think about it. The mascot situation in all sports, it's crazy. I mean, I knew the first Fanatic.
Really?
Dave Raymond was his name, and he actually is a consultant for other Fanatics
No
around the
way. That's
country.
cool.
Yeah, he's
That's
created
cool.
a business like that. So the guy there now is the second Fanatic.
Yeah.
But it's just like
It's got to be hot in that suit.
Oh yeah,
Jeez.
You
Especially at Citizens Bank Park, right?
you don't want to smell that suit.
I was going to say, you don't
Oh,
want to put that thing on.
on an 80-degree night.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, and I've smelled it a couple times. Are you kidding me? How are you in that thing the
Yeah.
whole time? But back when it started, you never thought that it would be what it is today. And now it's just like a separate. I had the Fanatic come out to my son's birthday. I think he was 5 or 6
That's
years
cool,
old. Yeah. And he charges people. He didn't.
He didn't charge you,
No, he
obviously,
didn't charge
probably.
me, but it was many years ago.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool. Kids are either afraid or happy.
Yeah.
But who would have thought it would have been that way now? But it's just like
I think
if the Fanatic's
yeah.
not in the game, people say, "Where's the Fanatic?"
Yeah, people ask where he's at or whatever. I think they were pretty smart at advertising, like, "Hey, this is my logo. Now let me make a Fanatic, or let me make, an animal out of the logo or something like that."
Right.
And then that was another way of them to, recruit some cost or advertising
Right.
with the Fanatic, because they sell the T-shirts, take pictures, they rent them out and stuff like that. So pretty good idea for on the sports teams for an advertising. And I'd love to know who, like, if that was the first mascot or Fanatic. Was it the Phillies? Was it the Eagles? Was it the Flyers?
Well, in Philadelphia, it was the Phillies.
Was it? Okay.
But in baseball, the San Diego Chicken, which a lot of people don't even know what the San
Yeah,
Diego.
I've never heard of it.
He was great.
Was it?
Because
Yeah.
it wasn't a cumbersome outfit, and he was very athletic. He was
Yeah.
from Canada. I met him. I've
Yeah.
actually brought him into the TV station, had him on TV. He didn't talk,
Mhm.
but just to have him do
Yeah.
things. He was hilarious
Yeah.
because he was so athletic. He could do a lot of different
That's
things.
awesome.
But I think that was the first. I don't know if San Diego still has the chicken. This guy doesn't.
Probably not.
This guy's not around anymore,
Yeah.
but not around doing that. I think he's still around, but. That was probably the first one, but the Phillies was right up there, and they
Wow.
weren't sure that
It was going to work or
yeah,
whatever.
right?
Yeah.
So, but
That's
those kind
unique.
of things,
Yeah, that's really unique.
which is kind of cool.
That's really cool. I feel like, branding yourself, especially with social media nowadays, is the most important thing, right? Especially for sports teams.
Yep.
Like, look at the Savannah Bananas. I had a chance to meet Jesse Cole. What a unique and awesome that guy is. I listened to him speak on stage about 2 months ago in Marco Island for an event that we went to. And this guy was so intelligent, and he was so kind. I mean, we saw him later on that day, leaving the hotel. My son took a picture with him before he hopped on the elevator. Guy's worth probably $1 billion now, but he puts the fans first, right? And that's how I look at business. I've always looked at business is like, put your clients first. Put those people first, because that's what really matters. They want to spend money with you, and your product speaks for itself too.
Yeah.
But they want to spend money because they like you. Same thing when you asked me to be a sponsor on your podcast. I was super excited to do it. I wanted to make sure that people knew who we are. You have a lot of attention on your podcast. Your shows are awesome. I mean, I try and catch every single one.
Mhm. It's kind of fun when you do them, but it's kind of interesting. When you brought up the Savannah Bananas, they made baseball fun again.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with baseball now, if they win, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
The games are so long, and there's so many strikeouts, and so
Little
many
slow.
swings
Yeah.
and misses. It's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Where the Savannah Bananas, doesn't matter who wins and loses.
Yeah.
It's just guys having fun.
It doesn't
having
matter.
a good
Yeah.
time.
I mean, who
And
cares
it's
if
good
they even
for the
keep scoring?
kids.
Yeah, it's great for the kids.
Well, I've seen at the Phillies game, people are leaving in the 6th, 7th inning
Yeah.
because the kids were with kids.
Yeah, they're sick and tired,
yeah,
or just tired and cranky. Kids
yeah.
are crying.
Well, it's been so long. I'm
Yeah.
getting out of here.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to deal with the traffic. But you got to find ways to make the games fun again. Football's different because there's a play every 20 to 25 seconds.
Yeah.
So you just keep on.
And people are excited to see someone get hit and crack,
Yeah.
score a touchdown,
it's
or
a different kind
cheap shot. Yeah.
It's a different kind of thing where basketball, the players don't care anymore.
Yeah.
They don't play 3/4 of the season. They don't play 3/4 of the season. They take games off. They don't play hard.
Yeah. No. It's just kind of like, it's
a horrible
boring.
game.
It's kind of boring to watch.
It's a brutal game
It's
to
a
watch.
shame,
It's a bad product. But so something like that, it's like the Harlem Globetrotters back in the day. They're not the same as they used to be, and they're still around making the tour. But they used to have really funny, great players. But they made the game fun for kids.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's. When you go watch a game with your kids, you want to see your team win, but the kids want to have fun. It's not just about eating hot dogs and popcorn.
Yeah.
It's about
you take your kids to the game. It's expensive as all hell, too.
Oh, it's a joke.
Jesus.
It's a joke.
It's like, what, $10 for a hamburger or a hot dog? It's like, are you
how
kidding
about
me?
a bottle of water?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, bottle of water.
$8. That it costs them about 45 cents a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when's enough?
Yeah.
When's enough?
It's nuts. So, you know a ton of people, famous people in the industry in the Philadelphia area. Let's just say you had to have one person come out to your party in your backyard. Who do you think that would be? And that's a tough question. Because I'm sure you know a lot of people.
No, because there's two parts to that.
Okay.
The guy being famous and fun, but the guy being fun with the people he comes out to see.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley comes to mind immediately. Because I've been friends with Charles since he came into the league. We became friends. He came in the league in '84, and he was just a regular guy. And I've been out with him. He's great with people. Doesn't big time people.
Yeah.
It's amazing that he can make people comfortable, and they feel like they know him. They're not afraid of him.
Yeah.
As outspoken as he is, but he is great with people. Now, there's other players and athletes that would be great. Brandon Graham's great with people. He
BG.
really is. Yeah, BG is really good with people. And there's other. Ron Jaworski was always nice to people.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
You're going back a lot of years,
Yeah.
and most of those guys were like that. I can go right down the list of players that were like that. But Charles comes to mind. Julius Erving is a great guy, but I don't know he's as personable. Not rude to people, as personable as Charles would be.
A little bit more shy.
So if you would
quiet.
take a guy in Philadelphia, I'll tell you who was great, and I've met him multiple times. The most famous athlete in the history of sports, and you can't even. I'm going to ask you a question.
All right,
who do you think, and maybe out of your age period, who would you think that would be?
In my age period, like, who do you think, like,
the most famous person in sports? A lot of people would say Michael Jordan.
In Philadelphia area?
No, the
most famous person in sports.
Worldwide. And no soccer player because not enough people.
No soccer, Christ.
Not that I have anything against soccer. You're never going to get the answer.
I'm probably never going to get the answer.
I'm going to give it to you. Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Unbelievable.
Hold on. I probably would have never got that because I was a big Joe Frazier fan.
Well, I'm a Joe Frazier fan too.
I love Joe Frazier. My mom was just at something they did for him in Philadelphia.
So, presentation.
Yeah. So she brought me home a Frazier hat and a Frazier t-shirt.
Joe was great.
I love Joe.
Joe was great.
He was like my Uncle Joe. And I say that because it
That's
wasn't just once or twice I met this guy.
Right.
I mean, since I was probably 10 or 11 years old, he was like, Jim, come to the gym. Come to my gym down in the city. I'll take you down there, box. Because I was
great guy.
I was a little scrappy kid back in the day.
But Muhammad Ali was funny. Joe Frazier was a good guy, and he was great with people. I mean, I knew Joe too. Probably not like you did, but I knew him just from covering him. But I've been to 3 events with Muhammad Ali. I was at a birthday party with Muhammad Ali.
Really?
I had him on the air when he was still boxing. And he was just, if you go back and look at the clips on YouTube or somewhere, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
This guy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the fact that I got to meet him, at events. It was his birthday party, 2 award luncheons, which I met him. And then I had him on the radio with me. It was when he was still boxing, and he was Muhammad Ali.
I think
There's nobody funnier in boxing with a better personality. George Foreman was probably close. No, he wasn't close. George Foreman was good.
He was a hell of a boxer, hell of an athlete. I think where he separated himself from a lot of the other athletes was the clout. Like, like I'm Muhammad Ali, like, and just like almost like a Conor McGregor, right? Like Conor McGregor was a great athlete, is still a great athlete. He's a hell of a boxer, but still, like the way he kind of talked and the clout, that just made him much more popular.
Heavyweight boxing was so gigantic.
Oh yeah,
it was so gigantic.
Yeah, it's not like that now.
Mike Tyson was snarly and mean. Now I've had dinner with him. It's crazy. He's a totally different guy.
I'd like to hang out with Mike.
Yeah, he's a much better guy now.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
he didn't treat the media very well when he was boxing, but then I got to know him afterwards a little bit, and I had dinner with him with a couple of friends. But it's just different. Muhammad Ali was just different. It's hard to explain, but all you have to do is look at the old clips.
Talk about the will to win. Like with Mike Tyson, I don't know his backstory or anything like that, but I know he took a big hit with money.
Well, because he got ripped off.
Well, he was
too naive.
He was too naive. Hey, it happens. I mean, you got to lose to win, right?
Yep.
But this guy, I mean, even after his career was over, he probably had less than $1 million to his name and is now building it all back up.
Yeah.
Every now and then I Google people's net worths, right?
He's been in movies. He's been on TV shows.
That's what it's like to grind in business, I think. I mean, like he really went from, nothing to something again. And, that shows the testament of who he is and how he is. And probably what goes back to, that's why I work so hard. Like I wasn't the best wrestler, but I was good. But with wrestling, you need to have that endurance. So you have to have discipline. And that discipline taught me a lot about business. I'm teaching my son now, he's 8 years old, who's a wrestler, like, hey, you need to be disciplined. You need to do your squats and push-ups every night. Well, I don't want to. Well, you have to if you want to win. But after you win, doesn't it feel so good?
You got to have commitment.
Doesn't it feel good to win, right?
You got to have commitment.
You got to have that commitment.
It's, I never saw a boxing match with Muhammad Ali live.
Oh, really?
I saw Mike Tyson and Joe Frazier because I was lucky enough to be able, because Mike Tyson used to fight a lot in Atlantic City, the heavyweight fights. And it's like, it's a different world.
Yeah.
I mean, Hulk Hogan, may he rest in peace. I've had dinner with him at least 2 times when I've gone down to the Phillies in spring training because he lives in Clearwater.
Because he lives right there.
He lived in Clearwater. What a great guy.
Yeah, he seemed like a good guy.
Pictures with my kids when they were wrestling.
Another legend. Another legend.
So, these kind of guys, they understand what it is to be nice to people. It's so much easier to be nice than be a jerk.
Yeah. So funny story going back on Joe Frazier, like when I say he was like my uncle or whatever, like Uncle Joe, like I have a picture here. It's a little faded, but he signed it. And actually this day, I believe. So
can I see that?
Yeah, take a look. So my mom called me. She's like, "Where are you? Joe needs a ride." And Joe was a little, drinking a couple beers or whatever. My mom said, "He's in media. He needs a ride. Get up there as soon as you can. I don't want him to drive." And Joe's like, No. I get up there, and he knew who I was at this point. I met him a few times at that point in time. I'm like, "Joe, you're not driving. I'm going to drive you home." He's like, No, I want to drive. I said, "You had a couple drinks. Get your ass in the car." I drove his Cadillac Escalade from there to my house, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, I'm driving Joe Frazier around. Like, this is wild. I'm like, so the next morning I wake up and he's still on the couch. And I'm like, holy shit, Joe Frazier's on my couch. I'm like, I thought it was pretty wild.
Yeah,
but,
just kind of cool.
The hands on that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Christ.
He's a
and he's been through
he was a champion.
Battles.
I know.
And you could barely understand him because, they call it like punch drunk, right?
Hey, let's be honest. There should have been a statue of Joe Frazier in Philadelphia before Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Just because the movie was done here?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, I think my
they
mom
have a
just
statue.
Said they do, but I think they said they're going to move it to the top now.
Well,
I
it's
believe.
going to be Rocky and Joe Frazier both going to
both
be
up there?
At the art museum.
That's how it should be, for sure.
I mean,
for
it's
sure.
just when it comes to Philadelphia.
Yeah. So Howard, again, thank you for your business. We did work for you. Like,
Yep.
Outside looking in.
I got more,
You got more coming.
Yeah, as soon as we're done here, there's some things I got to have done.
Book some more work. Thank you. I appreciate it. It goes both ways, right? And that's what business is about, relationships. So, one, what made you choose Piazza Outdoor Living? Like how do you remember how you got a hold of us?
Yeah, somebody twisted my arm. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's the Italian
it's just you look at different. I guess you have a lot of competition in this business.
Oh, a ton.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of competition, and I understand it. I got to know you and your mom and the people here, and I guess it's your sister. I don't know, and her grandchildren.
Yeah,
but whatever. But I can see that you put a lot into what you try to do, and when you tell people you're going to do something, you do it the right way. And you don't half-ass it.
That's important.
People have to know that you're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
Because, nothing is inexpensive. I'm sure you're competitive. As a matter of fact, I know you're competitive and you'll compete with anybody as far as price. But people want it done right and well. I don't know which one goes first, well and right. And if they don't get it that way, they're not going to say good things. But if you do it that way, word of mouth is the greatest.
Word of mouth is bond.
It's the greatest
best
tool.
form of advertising out there.
It can't be any better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And when I have partners, I call them partners. I know they're sponsors on my podcast. I never do anything for anybody that I don't get to know. Because then you're disingenuous when you're talking about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can't be disingenuous because people will figure you out. On radio, you think 80% of those commercials that the guys do on radio, they know anything about that company?
No.
Not a thing.
Probably not.
Not a thing.
They're just giving a script and
giving a script. Hey, listen, can you do this? This is this spot. Yeah, sure. Do they check the person out? When I was at WIP, when people ask me, hey, this client wants you to do their spots. Well, I'm not going to do it until I check them out, find out about their business, find out what kind of people they are, and then I'll do it. And some of those I've turned down because I just don't want to be involved with somebody that doesn't do what I tell people they're going to do.
Yeah.
And it's a reflection on me. As it's a reflection on me, and I don't want that to taint who I am.
Yeah.
So I got to know you, see what you do, got to know you as person to person. We hang out. I'll come over here when I've got nothing to do.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for bringing us the bread, by the way.
Bring goodies.
I mean, listen, it's relationships,
food
right?
always gets.
Yeah,
you say it gets to your stomach, it gets to the heart too.
Yeah, it definitely does. Food is my
cookies,
weakness.
bread. Yeah.
I wanted to eat some of the cookies, and I'm just trying to.
I know what you're.
I'm trying to slim down a little bit.
Break
Howard,
down.
come on, he's bringing cookies and bread from Panera. I love it though, but. That goes to show what type of guy you are.
Yep.
But it also goes to show that's how relationships are made. It's not like a one-way street,
Can't be.
It can't be. It can't be. And that says a lot about the type of guy that you are, bringing some food in. When you're bored, come in, say hello. It's great. People love seeing you, and
you got to have decaf coffee here. I don't think.
We gotta
get decaf.
Order
here.
some decaf, please. Yeah, we'll have a whole pot for you the next time you come. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think we did for you? I mean, 10 being the best of the best, and I don't expect you to say 10, but if you did,
excellent. How's the word excellent?
Excellent's even better.
Yeah. Excellent.
We deliver, right?
Yeah,
we deliver. We're honest with you. Something.
That's a word that you would use, but excellent's a word that I would use. And as long as it's done, as long as you get what you're promised, as long as it's done well, as long as it looks good, and there's, how could anybody complain about that? So excellence is what you strive for. And I always say people want to be, well, it's got to be perfect.
There's
Nothing's
nothing's ever perfect.
Well, but you strive to get
You
there.
strive.
You
to get
strive
there.
for excellence.
Yeah.
You strive. So you just keep on doing the best you can. And if the best is excellent to the customer, then that's the best.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys in our industry, man, cut corners and they're like, oh, the customer will never see that. It's like,
It's probably
hey,
underneath. I don't know enough about the way you build things, but.
I mean, we build them to recommend to industry standards.
Yep.
Manufacturer's recommendations, right? So we can only build them to what they're spelled out to be built, right?
Right.
But I tend to go a little over and beyond. Like if it's a paver patio, most guys in our area are only putting in 4 to 6 inches of modified stone. Now they're using modified stone because it's a lot cheaper. Industry standards have changed a few years back to all open grade, which is clean stone. And that tends to be more expensive. Like down the road, Glen Mills Quarry, they sell clean stone, right? So it's a lot harder to go get it from the quarry than it is to go pick up crushed concrete that guys across the street here are just crushing up, right? So it's a little bit cheaper. But modified stone turns to mush in the winter. With the winter that we just had with the freeze and thaw, your things are going to heave. Now, we're not perfect. I have a few jobs that we have to go back to from the winter.
And listen,
it was such a bad winter. You can't control that.
Yeah, right.
You can't control that.
So as long as it looks nice, you're efficient, you do what you tell the people they're going to do, and I don't know that you can ask for more than that. You can't ask for more.
You can't.
Right.
On our podcast, it's called Dirt to Dollars. What's one lesson you've learned in your career about turning hard work into success? Because you're a very successful guy, right? And you didn't get there by somebody just giving you a mic.
It's all. I don't know that I was ever to push it in the dirt. I understand why you use, because you're taking dirt and you're turning it into something.
Dirt to dollars.
Yeah. I don't think I was ever at the dirt level because even as a kid, as soon as I was eligible or legally allowed to work, I worked at gas stations. I pumped gas. I just did whatever I could just to work, save money, do the things that you needed to do. But that's, I just worked hard.
Yeah.
So you could say that was at the bottom. Dirt's at the bottom, if you want to make that correlation. And you just build yourself up. And, the path that I took was pretty good because I worked hard at getting there and I never stopped. Did I have some times where I didn't get the job that I wanted or somebody it cut back for a certain reason, and I lost a job, very early in my career before it became at this level. But you just turn the page, but you just keep on. You never stop working hard because hard work always pays off.
Yeah, it always pays off. And I mean, that's my motto.
I mean, the fact that you've been in business for, 26 years now?
Yeah.
Shows something. You wouldn't be in business that long if it didn't work.
It's been a hard road. It's been a hard road between employees and, every single day it's a grind. And I try not to focus on the bad things that happen, the bad publicity or something. You always focus on 24 hours in advance and that's it. Nothing else. Not backwards, not forward too much. Because if you start focusing on those things, then you lose focus of your objective and what you got to get done.
Not all the time are people honest about individuals, about companies. People just decide what they want to say about me. You say what you say. I know what I've done. I know what I haven't done, some of the things that happen to you, because you're always a target. When you have success, and I've learned this, somebody always
Somebody's
has
always
a
going to
target.
knock you down.
Yeah, they try to.
Yeah.
They try to knock you down, and you can't let them knock you down.
No.
You just got to keep on moving forward and say, the hell with
There's too many haters out there, Howard.
Oh, I'm
too
telling
many
you,
haters.
The world is loaded with haters because those are the people that aren't successful and they try to satisfy themselves by those things.
I think a lot of that has to do with people just not having a job, or they're just sitting at home on their asses and not going out and getting it. It's like, one of my famous mottos is WTD, and it's work till dark. Right. So like, I don't like going back on focusing on like on my business. Like, I really don't know competitors in my industry that much because I don't give a shit about those competitors. I don't have competition because
No.
I don't look at it like,
No.
I mean, it's good. It drives me. Some competition drives me, but
Well,
it's
it
like,
drives you to just not fall back and just move forward.
I don't care. I don't care what's
Yeah.
going on in their business. I don't
Yep.
care if they bought a new truck.
Yep.
Everyone's like, oh, did you see this truck that so-and-so bought? It's like, no, I don't care. I'm focusing on my company, not their company. I don't give a shit what they do. You know, it's like, and that's, I guess that's part of the reason how I've been able to become so successful, that doing a good job for people, you know? I mean, that's
what it's all about.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nothing can beat that.
Yeah.
Doing a good job and being honest with
Yeah.
people when you do it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
So in sports broadcasting, you've dealt with a lot of public criticism from fans and athletes. How do you learn how to handle that? And how would you compare that criticism to business owners, going back kind of on what we just talked about a little bit, but you know,
You can't let them wear you out. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You just can't. And if you're doing the right thing, it's like when athletes would get mad at me because I was honest about what they did
their
right.
batting stats or why they dropped the ball.
It's not even that. You know, there's internal stuff that I've always been able to find out and understand. And they don't like it because they're hurting their company, which is their team. So after a while, I mean, I'll give you a story about Dick Vermeil. Dick Vermeil and I are good friends now.
Mhm. Still to this day.
Yeah, to this day.
Awesome.
Well, we weren't at the beginning because
Really?
that first day in television I talked about early in the podcast here, I was at the head table of the Maxwell Club, which was a luncheon at that time. And Dick Vermeil was up there as a speaker and buried me. Buried
Really?
me.
And you never forgot that?
Well, but we laugh about it
Yeah.
now because when he was a coach, he worked them too hard, and he realized he worked them too hard. Now there's rules. They overdo the rules on how hard you can work a guy. So I said, they're going to quit on him. He's working them too hard. He was angry at me. He talked to the players about me. He said, don't listen to this guy. Buried me. But he got to know and understand that I was just doing my job. And I've been over to his house. We've had dinner together. It's just, he'll check in with me periodically. It's just to say, hey, listen, I heard your show and this is so-and-so. And, but they understand. Same thing with players. They understand. Allen Iverson, you know, he didn't do all the right things when Larry Brown was the head coach. And I told him that. And I said that on the air. Now, when he sees me, he hugs me and just, hey,
That's one guy I would like to meet, Allen Iverson. I feel like for a lot of people underrated him, the size he was.
Well, here's the difference between he and a lot of players today. You know, he partied at night.
I'm sure.
And he shouldn't have, you know, he hurt his body by the thing. He could have played longer. But whatever the case may be, he knows that now.
Yeah.
But regardless of how banged up he was, he came out there and played every minute hard and played every game. These clowns today, and I'll call Joel Embiid one of them. He's one of them.
Yeah.
You know, he's just collecting a paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's just, hey, listen, I know it
beats up on your body. I get that.
Well, yeah, but guys used to play hurt.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan played 9 straight years, every game and every playoff game. I mean, you tell me, with these guys with better medicine, better travel, you know, charter planes, you know,
better care,
luxurious,
better athlete care,
everything.
You know.
So, but that's one thing I'll say about Allen Iverson. He came out there and he played hard, whether he was hurt or not.
So I pay attention to a lot of.
But anyway, back to
things,
the point, you know, of athletes and you know, you just got to do what you got to do. And if there's a hater out there,
let him hate.
Just try to explain it to him. Jason Worth came after me one time because I called him a marginal Major League Baseball player after I had an argument with Charlie Manuel. So he stared me down. I was on ESPN, and anybody in the locker room say anything? Jason, it was his first year with the Phillies. Jason Worth stared me down. Here we're talking about a marginal Major League Baseball player. At the end of the season, he said something to me. I says, "You waited all season to let me know that. Now we're good friends." I mean, it's just you just got to sit down and talk to him.
You got to talk it out.
Yeah.
I feel like going back on AI, like what separated him from a lot of the other players at the time when he played, it was fun to go watch him play. But not only was it fun to go watch him play, is I actually enjoyed watching basketball, and I enjoyed that. Secondly,
Played hard.
That's what I was going to say. And this is what I train my son to do. He plays 120% every game. These guys on the going to the Sixers watching them, I feel like they only play 50, 60%. It's like, if you want something in life, you need to be really good at it, but you have to be really aggressive. Yep. And I'm very aggressive when it comes to business.
So you can't just do the best you can and let the haters be out there. Now, sometimes the haters are really haters and they don't look at the total picture. You just got to do, as long as you're doing the best you can, whether it's business, whether it's what I do, I deal with it. Do I like when people criticize me and are inaccurate? I don't even get into exchange with it. Yeah. When John Harbaugh was on the podcast, it's kind of interesting. He picked up his phone and he said, I asked him, I said, the New York media can be kind of tough. I says, how do you deal with that? He says, you see this? He picks up his phone. He says, see this in this little box here? Do you think I pay attention to what these people say? Do you think I pay attention to a guy in his mother's basement criticizing me? He says, no.
And doesn't matter.
No,
doesn't matter. Two more questions, and
sure.
They're Philly sports related questions. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. You've commentated and Philly sports your whole life. How do you feel? Like, I know the Eagles shit the bed last year. How do you feel they did? How do you feel they did? And how do we fix this? Or how does the team fix it?
Here's what fans have to understand. When you have years of success, you can't sign everybody. And you gotta make sure that all your you can't have all your draft picks be successful. There's going to be a downside. Kansas City won multiple Super Bowls. Now they're in a little bit of not a little bit. They're in a downside.
They're in a slump.
Yeah, they're not going back to the Super Bowl in the next couple of years, even though they have probably the best quarterback in football, but he was hurt last year. The Eagles had a great offensive line when they won a Super Bowl, which made, and the running back was really good, but the offensive line helped him be really good. The offensive line helped the quarterback be better because the quarterback was successful. I had the Giants' new offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy, on, and they lost. He was with Kansas City when they lost. He says, the game plan wasn't anything crazy. It was just basically running the football because they were successful at it. So the reality is, Eagles can't be the same. Their offensive line isn't as good. And it's a shame it can't be as good because Lane Johnson's older. Cam Jurgens is, he's trying to get his back and everything straightened out. Landon Dickerson is an unbelievably tough guy.
He is tough.
But he's always hurt. So now your offensive line isn't as good. Your running back's now deeper into his career.
Oh, he's getting hit a lot more.
They don't always last. So he's not as good. When those two things aren't as good, then the quarterback's not going to be as good.
Yeah.
I think people have to understand the Eagles won the division 2 years in a row, which hadn't happened for 20, 21 years.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to win the division this year.
Yeah.
It just is nothing you can do because
it's a shame.
It's just,
I know, it's one thing after another.
And you got to build it back up.
I really think they had a good shot at getting deeper into the playoffs and winning more games. I mean, everyone loses, right? And they took the losses, but on the chin and whatever. But that last playoff game, that was just painful to watch as a Philly fan.
They weren't as good.
I know.
They weren't as good. It's just
it's a shame.
The quarterback at times is going to have to pass the ball more. And
that was sad.
That's not their model because the running game
run, pass.
Yeah.
Pass 4th and 2.
So it's just people have to suck it up. There's good and then there's a period. It's hard. I mean, New England stayed relevant for years. They had the worst division in football. They always had a bye because there was always 2 byes back then. Worst division in football. They had Tom Brady, who I still think Joe Montana is the best of all time. But Tom Brady was there. And they had an awful division. That's not the case. The division this year with the Eagles, the Giants will be better with John Harbaugh as their head coach, and they have a good quarterback as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah, he's young too.
Washington, if their quarterback stays healthy, Jaden Daniels, they will be good. The Dallas Cowboys always suck, but they have to be better than
coming
they were
from a
before.
Philly guy. Dallas sucks.
But they have to be better.
Yeah, they have to be
so
better.
Competitively, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be a tough schedule again this
year. They finished in first place, so now you have a first place schedule. Remember last year, New England got to the Super Bowl with a last place schedule. Now Detroit has the last place schedule. So they're in the last because they didn't have a good year last year. So the Rams are always going to be good. Seattle's good. They have a first place schedule, really good, so they have it tough. San Francisco is good. Green Bay's good. Detroit's good. I don't know about Minnesota. Green Bay, Detroit.
Nothing's
Chicago.
Good in Minnesota right now.
No, right. Chicago is a good team. I don't know that they're good enough.
Yeah.
And the Eagles division is better.
Yeah.
Atlanta will be better. So
I'm excited for this season. I love football, so I can't wait for football to come on again. Especially, after the summer is all done and over with.
People are going to rip me because I didn't think the Eagles were going to win the division, but
hey, it is what it is, right? It is. I mean, they got to play harder.
The truth will set you free.
It will. It will.
Remember that?
Yes, sir. I do. Howard, it was awesome to have you on the show, man. I can't thank you enough.
Anytime.
I hope you. I'm going to go eat this bread real quick.
Run a couple of miles after.
Yeah, run a couple miles. We always give our guest a little gift
for the sun when I walk.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. We need to get you out there on a crew now.
You know what? Hey, listen. Then I'll learn what dirt to dollars is.
Dirt to dollars is. Grind your way to the top. Thanks again, brother. Appreciate it. Thanks.